turkeys today, and one of the things that we brought in already done, because we're going to fry one. We've already fried the turkey, and this is a fried turkey. So today we really have three different turkeys we're doing. We're doing a fried turkey, which really has its roots in Cajun. You know, a lot of Cajun seasonings, a lot of things like that. So this probably has its roots, you know, in Louisiana and places like that. But it's become more popular across the South. And you see a lot of shows this time of year about frying turkey. So this is a turkey that's been fried. It was fried roughly about 3 minutes per pound. Now the key on frying turkeys is this. You would fry in a good oil. Most of the time you're doing it like in peanut oil. And peanut oil is very expensive. The oil costs more than the turkey. So that's why a lot of times if you get set up to do this, you ought to fry multiple turkeys. The oil is important. You want good quality oil, and a lot of people use peanut oil. And the key on this is you want to fry no hotter than 350 degrees. And it's very important to monitor the temperature of the oil, because the oil can catch on fire. And so you don't want to do, you know, some, you know, much hotter temperature. You probably have still a little bit more that you can go as far as the temperature goes, but you know, don't want to get it much hotter than that. And also, there's a lot of specials, a lot of shows we watch that'll talk about, you know, fry inside the house. You know, fry up under the porch. You got to fry away from the house, away from any structure, because you can have a fire. Because again, the oil can spill out, and because the oil can be, you know, is flammable, you can have some kind of problems with that. The other thing that's important on frying turkeys is the turkey needs to be thawed. And it needs to be dry. You don't want this turkey to be this, you know, have all kinds of water in it and things like that, and then go put it in the hot oil, because it will really cause some real problems with that. And so I think some of the other things you'll see where people do, you know, don't go take it and go throw the turkey in. I mean, it's one of these things you lower it in. On this, we're still cooking all of our turkey today to 165. And so remember, that's our poultry safety temperature that we're using. And so the other foods, or the other turkeys we have today, we have a rotisserie, and we also have a smoked on the water smoker. On this, we're still cooking all of our turkey today to 165. And so remember, that's our poultry safety temperature that we're using. And so the other foods, or the other turkeys we have today, we have a rotisserie, and we also have a smoked on the water smoker. Don't get too big a turkey. You know, so these are like 11-pound turkeys. So turkeys come in a variety of things. So if you're going to do this, find a 10, 11-pound turkey, 9, 10, 11-pound turkey to fry. If you want to make a bigger turkey for like the roasting or the smoking, that's fine. You just need to make sure you do that in sufficient time in that. So we were purposely trying to get smaller turkeys to be able to do this. And this is, again, not to overfill the oil case, and it's already got some, so the oil is about right up to here, because again, whenever you put the turkey in, the oil is going to pick up and get higher in there. Like the first time I did one of these, I had too much oil, and whenever I put it in, the oil splash came over. So again, that's a dangerous situation. So again, away from the buildings. It even would be fine if we'd come over here today and got in the grass. In fact, I've seen things where they said, how do you get rid of the oil? Well, the oil is biodegradable. You know, you just take the oil once it's cooled off, and just go pour it out somewhere. I mean, it'll be fine. So that's what you do. And you can even take this oil and strain it to get the you know, large particles of meat or the skin, or if you've got any kind of seasoning in there, and then even put it back in here. And some people will put it in the freezer. It won't freeze, but what it'll do is it'll keep it cold, and you can still use it a little bit. But oil oxidizes, so it's not something you'll keep long term or anything like that. It'd be something we've done this before in class, where we would use it, and then the next week, the Thanksgiving, we'd use the oil again and then dispose of it there. We've got the temperature of the oil is ready, so Tyler's going to go ahead and come in and put the turkey in. And you notice it just has one of these, you know, then it's not a big turkey. He's going to come back in, kind of watch out and see any kind of water that drips out. So you pretty well let that, you know, you take your time going in there. And most of that is the water that's bubbling out is what's going on there. The rotisserie. And the rotisserie just makes a beautiful presentation, doesn't it? I mean, we know that if every time we've had something that's been on the rotisserie, it's been a beautifully, presented product. It's been gorgeous, and then it just has some, succulence to it. You can see a little bit in here. This is starting to pull back a little bit here off the legs, and we're letting it go a little bit more. It's already 165, so we need to go ahead and get it off of here before it gets more done than that. The key on this is you notice that you tied up the wings and tied up the feet to kind of keep them a little bit out of the way as it goes through here. This is cooked indirect, so again, you've got, we could do a pan in here in the middle, probably should have, so we wouldn't have the grease dripping out down in here. Then we have the indirect. So this one is ready to go, but I just love that golden color that it has. I think it's just beautiful. Then this one is the smoked over here. They both have been smoked, or both have been used, both have had hickory used. So it's been charcoal with hickory chunks. So this one, because it's had more smoke, is going to be darker. And that's kind of what you might expect. It's going to have a more of a smoke flavor to it than what this one will. This is going to have that nice rotisserie kind of a flavor. This is going to have a little bit more of that kind of smoked on that. But I like doing these, especially if you've got a big turkey, because on a big turkey you can put this on here, just cook it longer. Still again, you can monitor, you're going to pull it at 165, but that would feed a lot of people like that. This one's been on about 4.5 hours, and then this one has been on around one-ish, so about 3.5 hours. And so again, it's been ready, so it's ready to go now. But I think again, you see 3 great ways to prepare turkey that gets you out of the traditional cooking it in the house, the way that everybody's done it all this time, and gives you a different flavor perspective.